Yeah, alright. Just getting ready. This music will fade out a little bit. I'll keep it, it's nice. Um, but if you're getting sick of that song all the time, I'll change it to something a little bit more dramatic. Yeah, I'll change the music. If you're finding that a bit annoying. Um, this fella. Yeah? Yeah? Anyways, we have fun here. Anyways, yep, so this is gonna be the entire breakdown from like start to finish. I'll talk about this trailer as well, eventually, with the intentions or what I was going for, and basically the structure and such. So anyways, I guess I'll get started. So, back in 2020, I went to a university to study film and TV. It's dramatic music. Anyways, so I went to university to study film and TV. This is actually so good. I'm getting distracted. Hold on. There we go. Okay. It's better for me. But for you guys, you could enjoy it. Alright. So I went to study film and TV to learn about all of the tricks and ideas about why things are filmed and shot the way they are, and how to kind of draw people's attention and all. Anyways, and throughout that, I was in post-production. I was editing other people's shorts and such, and I felt like I wanted to tell my own story, or tell a narrative to prove that, yeah, I can tell a good story that's got twists and turns and so on and so forth. Anyways, moving on. And then we fast forward to 2021, is when I started writing the script for Forlorn Woods, and I don't think I've got the earlier versions of the script on me right now, but from the very get-go, I wonder if I could bring it up actually, I think I might be able to bring it up. This fella. Yes. I can't actually show you the script either, because it's got private information, and I can't show you the like pre-production paperwork because it's also got private information, so I can't actually show that. So for now, just bear with me. You're gonna have to listen to me talk instead of enjoying it. So you could go do other things while I basically chat. Yeah. So originally, yeah. Should I talk about the script actually? I guess I should. Anyways, yeah, so I wrote the script in 2021, and yeah, I guess I'll just go over the boring stuff first actually, and then I'll go over the script. So when the script was done, I showed it to some people, got their thoughts, heard what they thought about it, about the script itself. Some people found the dialogue a little bit corny. Some people thought there was too much exposition. Oh yeah, also the notes or any hints to like art department, or how like maybe like a specific shot that I had in mind. Obviously I understand about the shot because on the day it might be different, but art department, I wasn't too sure. Anyways, you live and learn, you know. Anyways, so yeah, I had to go through a lot of paperwork to actually get the permit, to get the permission to actually film at those locations, because no, I was not too low of a budget. I wanted to do things correctly, so I pushed through. I don't like doing paperwork, so I had to get someone to help me. I'll say all the paperwork that was done, I guess. It's just this long list. The regulations about the certain sickness that kind of broke out during 2020 and 2021. We had a risk assessment, the call sheets, the production booklet, the script, obviously, the shoot days about what was planned, the shot list, the site maps, the health and safety, and public liability as a insurance stuff, and our health and safety policy. So lots of paperwork, lots of things to write up. Now that that's over and done with, I actually can't share it, so I can't really talk much about it. What will be more interesting is actually talking about the original script, the original story that I had in mind. So now that that's out of the way, let's move on to the next best thing. I'll tone down the dramatic music. We don't need things to be too dramatic now. Cool. So yeah, let's talk about the original script. So back in 2021, the ending of 2020, start of 2021, I was originally thinking about making it was always going to be a ghost story. I always wanted to make a ghost story because it's intriguing or interesting to dabble within the more unknown or unexplored kind of situation and the morality and morals of certain characters, how they would act in such situations, their motives and desires and such. Anyways, so originally the story, I was gonna make it a little bit more tailored towards the place I was in. So our culture would have been very much more present within the film. So originally I was going to have a girl, a female actress, to be as the main character. And, she's going to school. It's your typical kind of high school thing, maybe. And the entire script is trying to cater towards people with a more understanding about how films are made and such. So there's that. Um, so that's mainly why it was dumped, is because it wasn't really speaking from the heart exactly. It was mainly just doing whatever people actually liked to see. It was supposed to try and entertain you, but not to entertain me, so to say. Alright, so the story originally had the girl as the main character. She goes to school and whatnot, and then on her way back home, she visits this ghost and all. She gets to interact with the ghost, and learns that that ghost fella is actually her dead granddad. Would be like, or dead uncle or something, like a family member who's a bit more older than, like, instead of a dead dad, it would be like a dead granddad or something, grandpa or something. And so that was the original kind of script idea, is that she meets him, and then they have that kind of connection between each other. Then when she goes home, she learns more about the mystery, about how he died, and the whole film is more so a mystery film rather than a coming of age film. It's more mystery based. And then at school, she probably meets this kid that she quite likes, but then it turns out that the kid is actually the main villain of the film, where her granddad, the reason why her granddad was killed is because the granddad had something of value, like something was very rich. It's kind of like how you have an antique that's going to stick with you, something really valuable that could be sold for quite some money or something like that, So it's kind of like a little bit of a scandal, maybe. And so the whole boyfriend thing wants to try rob the dead corpse or whatever, or such. And there's gonna be that scene where I was thinking as the climax between this these two kids obviously fighting, I guess. Well, it's not gonna be too violent, obviously, because like health and safety and all. But uh, I was gonna replicate how the granddad felt during those final moments, and yeah, I don't know. It's I'm kind of glad that I didn't really go through with it, because of it catering towards the more judges kind of thing. It is a bit more basic. So instead, I rewrote it. So I discarded that script and rewrote the ghost script to be Forlorn Woods, the film we see today, basically. So now to actually go over that script. So this is 2021 in the middle. This is like in the middle of 2021 when I was writing this script, or going towards the end of 2021, because there wasn't really too much changes that I wanted to make. But yeah, the whole heart and soul was now applied as something personal that I've actually gone through. So here we go. Um, yeah. I hope you're not bored of this trailer yet. Anyways. Okay, so originally I was going to have, the pine forest, it starting off in the pine forest was always going to be the idea. Actually, something which I might be able to do for you guys, actually switch over and start putting this on repeat. So I'll put that one on a loop and play that. Because basically I would just be talking about ideas and such. So originally I was going to have it that Chris always started off in this pine forest, and the fact that he's like lost or whatever, he's searching, he's looking around, and yeah, so it's meant to kind of introduce Chris's situation already. It's already trying to hint towards you that Chris doesn't quite know what he's doing. But he's searching for his own kind of desire and all, and safe space and such. And originally, during like those more quiet moments when Chris is just walking around, wow, my flipping language. Anyways, when Chris is walking around, we would have a voiceover of him saying the hook, essentially. Um, and this hook is actually what helped motivate me to actually finish the story. Um, Originally, he was going to say, "There's something that always draws me back here, even when I say I'm never going back. Maybe it's the voices. Yeah, maybe it's the voices that whisper through the leaves." Just make sure there's no spelling mistakes. Jeez, that'll be cringe. Yeah. Maybe it's the voices that whisper through the leaves. Maybe it's the darkness that hides within the trees. Or maybe there's something out there waiting for me. And then we have Chris shout, "Tom, are you there?" Kind of thing. So that whole voiceover, there's something that always draws me back here. It's kind of written like a poem almost, just about. Um, it was canned because then it felt a little bit more unrealistic, I guess, but also because I think it also just took up too much time. That, and maybe there's like too much exposition. I don't want the whole film to just be like chatter all the time. And throughout the majority of it, it is kind of just Chris and Tom like sitting together, just talking about stuff. So it's a very like safe-ended film. But um, yeah. So yeah, I know it's not action focused or action heavy. Because the whole idea about searching for the killer was the distraction. That is not actually the main focus. It's what you're supposed to think going into the film. Hence about the trailer. Um, if I pause this, I go to the trailer. It talks about how they need to search for the killer, and so on and so forth, and how they should just stop grouping around and get to get to the point. Um, and obviously you can see him like running about. And those two characters are supposed to be important to the story or whatever. And then we have this moment between the two. that's really special. Yeah, so that's essentially the trailer. It's supposed to trick you, make you think that the story is about the killer. In reality, that is deception. That's literally, I guess, me lying to you. But like, um, and I know people hate the phrase, but it's not really to subvert your expectations. It's more so to change change your approach to what the film is actually about. Because the killer, it the whole time the killer is actually a ploy to try keep Tom with Chris. The whole time. It's not actually it's not actually the main focus of the story, because the story is actually about these two characters' relation, and what Chris is supposed to do, or what is Chris supposed to do when Tom leaves, kind of thing. When he disappears, and all. I will also say, if you haven't actually watched the film, please watch the film. Like you need to see it first before checking out this live stream, because my goodness, like what are you doing here? Go watch the film. And with that being said, let's continue. So yes, yeah. So originally I had that voiceover. It's basically the hook. It's basically what got me interested into where the story would be taken. So that's the intro about this puppeteer that's lost. Originally writing the script, I didn't know that Chris would be a puppeteer. I just knew about this traveler or this searcher, this guy who who's um looking for someone special to him. And then the next thing that drew me in was actually the climax, about how the story was going to end. And it was a very like kind of dramatic climax. Um, and yeah, it was a lot of kind of like editing and back and forth between the two characters, and how one of them being Tom, that wants to be free from his purgatory, that he okay, I guess I'll talk about that thing then. So Tom is in literal purgatory, literally. While Chris is in figurative purgatory. It's more so like a mental purgatory that Chris is stuck in. Tom is literally in purgatory, where it's a little bit more obvious that he's in like this limbo state between heaven, or between being released and staying on the earth, because originally Tom believes that the reason why he hasn't been able to um, I guess leave, being able to be fulfilled, is because he thinks he needs vengeance or revenge on the killer, and that way he would be able to be set free and do whatever he wants. That's what he believes. Um, and Chris kind of emphasizes that that's what he should probably do, even though killing is never actually the correct answer to the situation, because that means Tom's decision has been made. He, because if that happens, then he has sealed his fate in being stuck in this state of purgatory. It's now sealed. There's no going back. And that's why at the turning point, Chris kind of loses it, and actually gets on to trying to find the killer and such in that scene after the turning point, where Chris actually goes to find the killer and all, because he wants to have Tom trapped. And if Tom did find the killer, I don't know, probably he would. Maybe. I wasn't too sure, but I don't want to think about it too much, because that's not the direction that the story was going to go in. Because yeah. So I wrote the intro, I wrote the climax, and then there was everything else in the middle that I had to figure out. How do we go from point A, where they're friends and all, and they're buddies, to point B, where Chris is losing his mind. Basically, Chris is basically the villain of the situation in the climax. So yeah, that was a whole thing that happened. Anyways, um, yeah, and you know, all this emotional stuff. Um, oh yes, the only time I push for the for a for Chris to actually get closer to more of a swear word is because of this moment in scene 12. Oh my gosh, oh my goodness. Just look at the script. Obviously, I don't really want to put swearing in something so personal, because I don't want that to distract from the message. But that one moment, I felt like it kind of needed that little bit of spice to add to the current situation about what Chris is feeling, you know. Yeah. So it kind of felt like it was needed at that point. But yeah, no, throughout the majority of the script, I didn't want them to swear at all. I didn't want any violence. I didn't want any swearing because I didn't want to show any like actual anger or hatred. I didn't want to like use that. It's just more so like lost in confusion. Hence why where are you? Yes, yes, this one here where with Jess here where she goes like cool, now I'll also slip you a time with me on Friday for our second date, and she says shoot, I've got to go, instead of you know, the the alternative. Pretty much. Oh, anyways, so yeah, I wrote the introduction first. I wrote the climax because the climax is what got me to want to actually explore these two characters about how I could get them into from point A to point B and all. So everything in the middle was trying to figure that out. So yeah, essentially, I knew how it would start, knew how it would end, but I didn't know where the point of change would be. And that happens after the vision with Jackson, after that whole vision scene, with Jackson, and after that, then we have the point where Chris actually uh, wonders wonders about his decisions, about why he decided to go through with this, and then he finds out the fact that he is the main villain in this situation. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyways, I won't really go over the script too much. I just want to say one last thing. That'll be the climax part, where um, the whole idea with the climax at the end was to, yeah. So yeah, that's basically the stream. The whole idea with the climax at the end of the short film was that even though Tom was the ghost, and he has his whole abilities as the ghost, the the situation, or the climax, it came down to Chris. It came down to Chris's decision, because sorry, I'm just trying to formulate my words. Um, yeah, at the end of the day, or at the end of the story, it was Chris's decision. It had to come down to Chris making the right decision, essentially. And Chris knew that he had to make the right decision, but gosh, so much stuff is going through my mind right now. Um, I'll talk about the decision a little bit later. Um, in scene 12, Tom cannot kill Chris. If I go up to scene 12 here, which is the climax part. Such a good look. Oh, look at that stare. Such a good look. Anyways, scene 12 here. See, it's all like, yeah, I love it. Ultimately, Tom cannot actually kill Chris. Now, it's not because Tom's a goody-goody two-shoes, sweet, innocent ghost kind of fella. Even though, yeah, Tom is an innocent, soft, sweet ghost. Yes, but um, it's not that. That's not the reason why he can't kill Chris. It's that because that'll just be kind of no. Um, it's actually because what does Chris desire? What what, what does he want? Why is he so um what is he doing exactly? What does he want? What do you think he desires right now in this situation? He Now obviously there's nobody here. I'll just be talking to myself. Never mind. Um, he desires to be with Tom forever. And in this universe or in this world, ghosts do exist. Ghosts are real, and because Tom exists, he is living proof that Jackson did actually pass on. That there is an afterlife, or that there is something beyond living life itself. Um, and Chris is so desperate to have a friend that he is willing to go to such lengths to try keep Tom for himself. And so if Tom was to kill Chris in this moment, then Chris would win. The main villain of this story would have won. The main character is also the main villain. Like, I love that idea, that whole twist, that the main character is actually the main villain. Anyways, enough about that. Um, but yeah, Tom can't kill Chris because of his desire to be with Tom for the rest of eternity. Chris would become a ghost in the forest with Tom. He's literally like side by side next to the body, and obviously it's the bad ending to this story, obviously, but like it's saying like, oh why doesn't he just kill Chris and get it over with? That then Chris would win because Chris would become a ghost. Chris is in figurative purgatory, which means he would become in literal purgatory because he hasn't been fulfilled. He doesn't have that accomplishment. He hasn't accepted um to move on. He's literally holding on to the past. Like you know, and that's what that whole dream with Jackson, the old guy here, that him. He's literally like still holding on to that. That's what's keeping Chris in this crazed state. And I'll talk about the radio as well. My goodness, I love everything about it. Um, but yeah, so Tom can't kill Chris in this situation, or else Chris will become a ghost and just be with Tom for eternity because Tom would have killed someone. Tom as a ghost has killed someone, which means he has sealed his fate into actually being stuck forever. Right now, at this moment, Tom hasn't killed anyone. He hasn't murdered any living person in in revenge or anything, or in hatred or whatever. Um, he hasn't done that. So that's why Tom still has a chance to move on. Um, but upon learning that after, if I go to the scene about why he hasn't just disappeared afterwards, because I know you guys will be wondering about that. I have to be the whole Tom, come to me, Tom, I need my cookies. I need my salad. Where is it? Anyways, this scene here, Tom gets to learn about, Chris, about what's actually going on, and the whole turning point happens and such. Um, that's the thing that happens. Um, anyways, Tom has unfinished business, is the thing. That's the only thing that's holding him back, is that he has unfinished business that he needs to do, and he believes that is to get vengeance on the killer. And then when that was fulfilled within this situation, when that was, he learns that family and love and such, the classic like thing. He's only got one last thread that he needs to solve, and that's Chris. He is the last person that he needs to um, be with, even though he's not like bloodly, he's not his brother or anything. He's not like connected to him, but yeah, Chris is literally the last thing that's that he's holding on to. Now Tom 100% could be could disregard Chris and just let Chris fall into the negative side that he is left in here in this moment. Tom could 100% do that. Say like in this scene, he does that, takes possession of the puppet here, and then puppet's gone, and then Chris comes here to grab the skeleton body, um, and basically Tom could easily just be gone right here, right now, but Chris hasn't been solved. He hasn't. Chris will still be stuck in little purgatory, and he would just fall into this like aggressive, very negative kind of character who despises his life and such. And yeah, uh, so Tom, being the sweet good ghost that he is, um, you know, towards the end here, he he helps guide Chris to the right solution, kind of. Well, kind of. I feel I'm kind of talking out. Hold on. Kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, it's film jargon. You get it. Yep. I'm probably looking too much into this, I think. Yeah. Anyways, um, upon coming back, he knew the risk. But yeah, he had to make Chris make this decision on his own. Chris had to he had to decide about it, and ultimately, what convinces Chris is Tom saying that he just wants to see his family again, and that is what mainly convinces Chris to not do it because of his connection with Jackson. He cannot take this away. He cannot take away Tom's family and such. Anyways, so that's the climax. There's a lot in it. So much happening. It's it's certainly a moment. It is certainly a moment. I've got much to talk about the scene and its themes and such. Yeah. And I was thinking about the narrator or the voiceover to play during this scene. Yeah, just before. Yeah, during this moment, I was gonna have the narrator talking over, but I don't know. It just felt a bit cheesy. It just felt a bit corny. I wanted to go with something a little bit more kind of peaceful and fulfilling. So like this is like a break, a time for you to think about what you've witnessed, and do you understand the story? Do you um, get what this is actually all about here? Chris kind of just stands there looking at the grave, and he's off. Anyways, then we have the ending. Um, anyways, time to talk about the filming side of things. Now that we're done talking about the script and permits and such. I can actually talk about the video itself. How long have I been streaming for? About 40 minutes. 40 minutes of streaming. So a lot of pre-production. Um, so I'll get on to the filming stage of things. I had to get all the equipment. I had to do all the props and wardrobe, costumings. I made that little guy you see here, this fella here that you see. Um, I made him, and I think he turned out very well. I'm very happy. I took like tutorials and such. Um, so yeah. Anyways, moving on. I'll talk about the thing itself. Yeah, cause yeah. All right. So we open up in a pine forest. Uh, this was, I would say, the last day we shot. We shot this on the very last day, and I know the sky's a little bit overexposed. I know that, and I understand. Um, in the original footage, if you were to see it, it's actually really fuzzy and grainy, like a lot of noise grain. So I had to clean that up, smoothen it out, and now it actually looks like like you'd see um, without it looking so dodgy, which was lovely. Yeah, the sun shining through the trees. Oh, so good. And then yeah, we have the introduction to the ghost. Again, still though, day one. This is still day one. No, last day. Yeah, we filmed this on the last day. Sorry. The lighting is perfect about how it should look. Um, and he goes over, talks to him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was gonna have a bigger crew, but two of my crew members got sick, so I had to kind of like full in for them. So yeah, more work for us, which is a shame, but yeah, they got better. Anyways, yep. So this is when the story actually gets to start because Chris and Tom, they kind of like they've seen each other before. Chris isn't really afraid of Tom. He never was, especially when he first got to meet Tom. And that is due to his past with Jackson. He if yeah, and that whole like idea with Jackson and all. Oh yes. Yep. That's still day one. Um, no, that's not day one. Sorry, day five. The last day we shot. Sorry, shot this in 5 days. Anyways, anyways, yeah, yeah. So one of the things which I guess I'll mention now about the story that I'm very proud of is the use of the radio. How Chris uses the radio. In the first scene here, we can see that Chris, takes out the radio. He's lost. He's asking, "Are you there? Can you hear? Like, I know you can hear me anywhere you are." So he uses the radio as a tool to guide him. He uses it as a way to find Tom, and that's the whole idea about trying to show the purpose of the radio at that scene. That he um, he uses it as a guide to find this moment. Anyways, back to here because this radio comes up 3 times in this story. So here he uses it as a guide to find Tom and all, and so well done. Scene 3, my goodness, I forgot exactly what day we shot this on, but it's probably the most like the setting and the scene. Yeah, yeah. It's probably the most disappointing I guess. As cause like you could see the power cables and all, um, and there was supposed to be drapes covered, so it's supposed to look all colorful and nice to look at. But yeah, it just looks like a garage, like a filthy garage, or I guess a clean garage with those white bland walls. And yeah, now this is probably the weakest scene for me in the entire short film. Hmm. Obviously, Chris isn't actually drinking alcohol. The actor, Chris, he's not actually drinking alcohol because you're not allowed alcohol on set, anyways. We don't want anyone getting drunk or anyone having developing a problem, especially if they're going to be driving back to their home or anything. So obviously, he's not actually drinking alcohol, obviously. So no, no. Yep. So that whole scene about scene three, uh, I still think like in terms of the story, it's written. I'm really happy with the entire intro, like uh first few scenes because it kind of hints at towards what Chris actually wants. So he asks stuff like, when we got this guy, then what do you want to do? And then Tom's not really too sure about what's about to happen if he does. Um, so he thinks more kind of like a kid, kind of about the cartoons and such. And Chris wonders if Tom will ever come back. And obviously, Tom doesn't really have a reason why he would come back at this current moment. We're only like, what, a couple minutes in. So yeah, um, that hints towards Chris that he will lose Tom if they actually pursue this guy. So yeah, he's convinced to kind of delay it and withhold it. This scene is more so like a transition or like a fuller scene. Obviously, shot through the day. Shut up. um, yeah, but I like that I have the light on to show that it is basically night. It's just a bit lighter and all. And yeah, obviously the lighting is correct and all because this is the shadow side we're shooting on. Anyways, that's not 100% true during this scene. But it was just later in the day, obviously. We were shooting later in the day, and yeah, the lighting started looking a little wonky, but it's fine. This is also really, this makes me really happy. Um, this side here is meant to look like it's coming from the outside here and the night sky and all, but obviously it's just a light stand. This is just a light stand to try uh, show like a night sky kind of shooting, hitting the side of the actor's face and all. Anyways, but yeah, now this is all just filler. I don't want to like drag it out. I don't want it to be like too moody, but it's just to show that Chris is in this like kind of like a desolate house. It's a very kind of like, yeah, it looks very clean and kind of like empty. It's very kind of like nothing special is going on. And then we get back to the story. Yeah, no, I didn't want to drag that out at all. And then yeah, so Chris takes out Robert, and we have this moment between him and Tom. Yeah, gosh. Yeah. So how I did, obviously Troy, Tom, the actor, fading in and out. Um, that was done just by shooting it twice, one with the actor, one without the actor, and so you can easily mask it and it can easily be done. What I'm very proud of, for me personally, what I'm pretty happy with, is that whenever Tom fades away, we have like a slight blue tinge that used to be there, and then it kind of like fades off back to the regular look, how it should look like, and so on and so forth. And the puppetry or the acting that Chris does, the puppetry, my goodness, like well done. Robert's eyeline looks like he's kind of looking at Chris's hat there, but yeah, and then oh, brilliant, yeah. I do want to talk about this shot, okay? Talking about this shot. How was it done? How did I do it? The grass is green. The grass is green. How was I able to shoot Chris and yet still have the puppet, moving and such? How it was done was that obviously I still did the 2 shots. I did like three different shots of this exact moment, where obviously Chris is actually on another layer. So he's I've kind of like keyframed him and all, and he's just on another layer on top of this bench. And then we did another shot where no one is actually at the bench, so I'm able to hide whoever will be hiding down here, whoever will be actually down here. Um, I won't show the shot because it looks a bit goofy and all, you know. But yeah, uh, I think it was done very well. There's a slight jump cut, obviously, because the lip syncing for Robert was off. So there's a slight jump cut. I could have fixed that, and that's really annoyed me now. But aside from that, you're probably not going to see it upon first viewing, because it's yeah, should be fine. Yeah, and this is my major point. It's not that the skies, because clearly you could see in this shot here, blue skies. It's just really cloudy. It's just really cloudy that day. Like it's not my fault that the skies are very white in the film. It's anyways, it's just a personal preference. Yeah, um, Jess did a great job. We had to ADR this scene though, sadly, because of noisy cars and noisy people behind us and such. So we had to kind of like ADR this scene. But props to the actors and props to the actress for actually staying focused and getting through the scene with all those different like takes and such. Um, and yeah, I think it came out pretty well. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, it was on purpose. The point of the scene is meant to be kind of goofy. It's supposed to not really be too serious. Um, it's supposed to show that Jess is trying her hardest to try get Chris to actually do stuff together. Like she is actively trying to convince Chris to like actually hang out and go on a date and such, to live life and all. And Chris, he's just not ready for the commitment. He he wants to do other things and such. Like I said, he is metaphorically or mentally stuck in the past. He's in his own purgatory where he can't let go of the past or anything. He's literally stuck in this moment where he believes that he isn't ready for a future with Jess. Is literally the best way I could say. So Jess here is meant to represent Chris's future. It won't last forever, but right now this is the opportunity for Chris to take it. Obviously, it won't last forever, but this is his chance to yeah. Anyways, so there's that, and the old guy here, old fella, the grandpa or whatever, he represents Chris's past. So he represents Chris's past, she represents Chris's future. Uh, Obviously, it won't last forever. So, yeah. Um, Chris just doesn't feel like he's ready. I did think that was a little bit too much in terms of the acting, but yeah. Um, I did tell him that he could kind of like emphasize maybe the word soul. And originally in the original like script and all, well, not in the original script, but like originally how he interpreted that he was going to be a little bit more shouty. And I told him maybe don't shout at your potential girlfriend and all. So yeah, just little things. Anyways, yep. And then we have this scene with Tom on the swing and all. And I will not talk about the kids. I'm not going to mention about that. I'm not going to mention about the surfer. Yes, I did notice them. Yes, I did. So don't worry about it. Um, yeah, so it's a bit more cloudy. The scene is them just talking about Jess and all. And here he's, yeah. We're getting through the plot now about, like, what the water are you doing kind of thing. Like, we're wasting our time kind of thing. Troy doesn't quite understand Chris's motive at this current moment. He doesn't quite understand what Chris quite desires. But obviously he's trying to keep Tom for himself and all. Yeah. Yep. Sorry about that. Yeah. So that moment is my favorite moment throughout the entire short film. It's one of, for me, the key moments here. And I really wanted this in the trailer. I really wanted this moment of Tom giving his hand out because it's just such an impactful moment of, yeah, don't you trust him? Um, Even though of course he does. I mean, come on, they're friends. Of course he trusts him. But the idea is that he's not just asking Chris, "Do you trust him?" It's not just that. He's also asking the audience. He's asking you if you trust him. Anyways, moving on. And then we have the transformation, the transition between the park, the playground, or whatever, and to the beach. And what a stunning shot. In the story, it's obviously a sunset in the story where Chris and Jackson in this moment has gone to the beach during the sunset, and they were just gonna have fishy chippy on the beach. So yeah, they were gonna have fish and chips on the beach during the sunset. So it's meant to be like the last moment Chris had with his granddad before his granddad had passed on. But on the day, we had to get up at like 4 in the morning to get to the sunrise at like 5. You know, like we had to get up really early to get to the beach here. So this is actually a sunrise during this whole thing, and I really wanted like this like silhouette look for for the characters, and it's a very heartfelt moment between them, and yeah. To be honest, this shot, I would not mind if the entire scene was just that shot. Not this one, but that wide with the silhouette kind of look, you know. Um, it's all be okay. I had to do a bit of masking on the ocean to increase the blue on it because I wanted the ocean to kind of pop a bit because it's meant to be a very gorgeous, colorful scene. Lots of color, um, lots of love and all, and just like, the heartfelt moment that the two have. And then we learn about what that hat represents, or what it means to Chris's character in this moment. That obviously it means Jackson. It means love. It means compassion. It means family and all. And yeah. So I'll go back a little bit because I just want to say he puts on the hat and they give that hug in the silhouette. And this essentially is end scene. This end scene done. Now let's move on to the plot and actually get the story going again. It's supposed to reveal Robert, and obviously Robert hasn't actually been made at this moment because Chris wasn't a puppeteer. He hasn't actually made Robert. Here, this is what I really like, is this transition between here, where like the sky starts to be blown out and all, and then we go bang onto here. Suddenly all the color is drained, Well, maybe not all the color. Obviously, we could still see the blue and such, but like it's a very like kind of. It's not black and white, obviously, but like there's a lack of color in this scene, and it's a very kind of reflective scene about what is going on and all. Yeah. And yes, I know you can see the light stand beams. I know you can. But so long as you don't see the light stand itself, it's okay. Doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, I know you could see the beams. Shut up. We were on a budget, okay? Just trying to tell the story. Yeah, so Tom, the actor for Tom, said that this was his favorite scene because it's the moment here where Chris realizes he's the villain of this situation. This is the moment. And so now he pursues to actually find. Now he actually does, because his mindset has changed. His point of view has changed from trying to hold back to, yeah, so on and so forth. Yeah, it's all budgety. Shut up. And then yeah, the eye glow. Yep. Yeah, and then yeah, we return to this scene. I will say we used blue tack for that fleece behind Chris, and it did not fall down compared to all the other fleece. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. It's all about making it look alive. Yes. So this part. We see Jackson's hat here. This hat represents love, compassion, the past, yes, but family, and coverage and stuff. Whatever. It's supposed to represent Jackson and family and such. Chris thinks that because the killer is actually probably dead, because Tom died a long time ago. Let's say like someone, somebody died. I don't know, very morbid, but someone passed away in the 1930s or something, and he has to try find the killer from like 100 years ago or something, and so that's why obviously Tom did not die in the 1930s, or so I'd have to change his outfit. Tom died in the 1970s actually, close to 80s, but yeah, 1970s, which is why Tom's slang is all like Stone Fox and Far Out Man and Radical and stuff and such on, so on and so forth. So yeah, he has that kind of slang. Anyways, which probably isn't really too obvious. It's more so kind of subtlety. The main thing that kind of makes it a bit more obvious is the amount of times he keeps saying man, and the amount of times he like calls Jess Stone Fox and such. And like it's not me trying to goof around and be inspired by Shaggy that always says man, like Scoob and such. No. It's not inspired by that. I don't want Tom to be annoying or overbearing. So like, I don't want to like exaggerate his slang. But it felt like he was in the right moments. I'll also, I guess I should explain what Stone Fox means. If you look up the definition of Stone Fox for like 70s slang and all, so Stone Fox 70s slang or whatever, if you look that up, it basically means a hot chick that's hard to get. So someone who's very pretty and beautiful that's hard to, have, basically. So there's that. Anyways. So yeah, that's why I have Tom say Stone Fox and all. And now it just is a furry. Anyways. Chris is wondering why he's dating a furry. Moving on. Um, we have the moment here. Obviously, yeah, he takes a drink and all. Yeah, the moment where he looks at the hat. And the hat represents family, connection, and so on and so forth, love and such. Uh, and what I'm hoping is that Chris is wearing the hat at the end of the film, and I know he's wearing black. It's a black coat and all. Uh, and I'm hoping that people don't take it that Chris is still stuck in the past. That he's still holding on to um, such feelings. That's why I wanted him and Jess to actually get together for a more happier ending. But I hope people don't take that at the end here with Chris and all. Anyways, moving on. So he looks at the hat, and instead of using the hat for love and family and all, he uses it more so as a weapon. He gets the idea that perhaps the killer has relatives or a family that they could use as his place. So it's a very kind of evil, kind of thought. That shot as well. Hold on. This shot here with the sky. It's actually a blue sky. It was actually a blue sky. So I had to fix it. I had to fix it. I had to make it white. I had to, overexpose it, make it white to match with this shot. To try and make it match with this shot. So it doesn't feel like it's shot on 2 different days or whatever. Um, Now, the thing that's annoying is that the black bars kind of obscure the puppet. The puppet is obviously not there, but the black bars kind of hide that. So, uh, yeah. Um, but hopefully you get the idea that during this shot, the puppets, Tom looks behind him. He looks at the puppet, and we have a shot of the puppet because we gotta see what the actor is looking at. And then we see the puppet eyes glow blue, which is meant to indicate that Troy has, or Tom, the actor, sorry, has control over the puppet. And here, obviously, with Chris saying, "What? How did he?" Because he's gone. Tom cannot move his bones. He cannot really move his entire skeleton. But with a lot of strength and determination, he was able to uh, move the puppet. And so that's why Chris feels very like, no, because he's a villain. Um, and you might be wondering how the world did the puppet get across the lake? I would say shut up and enjoy the movie. Don't question it. Just there's a bridge that I don't show that's obviously off camera and such. Just enjoy the film. Just enjoy the film for what it is. Yes. So, I love this sequence. I'll put on some music. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. There we go. It looks a bit more nicer. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Just had some people. Anyways, um, yeah, so scene 12. Yes, and he's calling out, Tom! Tom! Where's my chicken nuggies? Anyways, um, oh, also, I'm the only person who could probably, like, make jokes about Forlorn Woods. Because like it's my personal story. It's my story. It's my creation. So like I have the right to make jokes like that. But for you, it's just a bit weird. It'll be weird if any of you guys actually make those kinds of jokes. Anyways, moving on. So, you know, he's calling out for his best friend, and then he takes out the radio, and as you can see, he shouts, "Show yourself, coward," as a very aggressive person. And in this entire scene, building up to scene 12, he uses the radio like a weapon. He's using it to hunt down, track down, and, hunt down Tom and all. He's trying to find him so that then he can succeed. And so, with that in mind, with the whole radio static and all, he's able to find the body again because obviously about what's going on. And yeah, then we have this very dramatic moment where we have the two sides clashing. And obviously the skies here are overexposed as a white kind of sky, but I used that to my advantage and added that kind of blue tinge to it to just kind of give it a more haunted, ghostly kind of look about the pine forest, about how the forest's perspective has changed in this moment where the skies are obviously a little bit more haunted and such, a little bit more foggy and all. And yeah, Chris in this moment is very aggressive. He's a very stern fella. You know, saying about how he wants to be with Tom for the rest of the time. Well, I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So I guess I'll finish up because this scene is a little bit long and all, but it's a very like dramatic scene with the music. You know. Yeah. So I'll just add a little bit so you can hear it. Go. Just a little bit. And yeah. And that's when he says he's all goodbye. And obviously, the music fades out and all. And yeah, this shot, oh, I love it. It's such a good like final shot of like Chris for Tom to see. It's like, eh, I know I just tried to be the villain, but are we still friends? You know. But no, Tom is a good person. He's actually a sweet ghost. He's like, yeah, man, of course. And yeah, he fades off. And I got very lucky, I guess. I got very lucky on that shot. So basically, in the one take we did it where everything's all, there's no sun. The sun is behind the clouds. And then, when he puts his head down, he walks off, the sun comes out from behind the clouds. And now we can see, like, the sun rays and such. Like, we could see how it's kind of brightened up the place. And all I did was that I removed that kind of cold blue kind of temperature. I've just removed that. Like it just fades off into the original, how it actually looked on the day. So yeah, I didn't add anything with the sun rays or anything. That was just natural sun. Here the sun's gone behind the clouds, as you can see. Um, and yeah, it's just well shot and all. And originally, this was probably going to be where the story ends, actually. Like, originally, this was probably going to be the ending of Forlorn Woods. but obviously it's a very kind of sad ending. So I added a phone call, and that relates to Jess back here and all. And I also want to show that Chris has changed. Like he's a changed man now that he's gone through all this, and that he's actually willing to live life and take it to its full potential and such. And yeah, and then we have the final scene. This was day one. We shot this day one, by the way, where the main actor has a beard and all, just to show like time has passed. So we shot this day one to try give off the illusion that time has passed. So yeah, the final scene as the first thing to shoot. Yeah. Now, he has the hat just because like he still has love and such. But as much as Chris will miss Tom, uh, he's just really glad that he had him as his little buddy and all. And it's just such a good moment here. Yeah. And then we have the credits. And as this is playing, you should be able to see that it like changes from like a blue to like a more warm color. So like it's just to show that the sun is going down or like time is passing between these two shots here. To yeah, to try emphasize that it is actually the day is actually changing. Um yeah, there it is. So you can see it's getting more orange, you know. So a little bit more warmer. There's a warm color. As it and it like slowly kind of happens. And then we have the credits. It's Forlorn Woods. I guess that's the entire breakdown of the entire film. Uh, so pre-production, discarding the script because scripts could be written way back in 2015 to then actually get to action for pre-production when that actually happens. So you know, for me, the script was back in 2021, and pre-production work, like the paperwork and getting art stuff and sewing Robert and such, you know, doing all that. Um, that happened for 3 months. So I did that all in 3 months to actually prepare all of this, including like wardrobe, you know, the costuming and such, you know, about how the characters should be dressed, including Jess. Like that includes Jess, where she has a very kind of smart, pretty outfit. That's all costuming, and honestly, like, uh, because like I'm not a girl, I let her keep it, just because like I'm not a girl, and I don't really intend to make more short films. So I was like, yeah, you could keep it. I don't really mind. Plus, it wouldn't really be much of a pain if I need to get another kind of vest kind of idea, like a jacket kind of idea for the character. For a character, it wouldn't really be a pain. Plus, if I was to do like another movie or shoot or whatever, uh, I would probably go for a more higher scale production or like a, you know, because this is more so like a passion project, I guess. I know Red Flags, it's a passion project. Oh no, I can assure you, everyone got paid. I did pay everyone, so they're all happy. It's no worries. Um, but yeah, this is all yeah, because like flipping, because like we had to get up really early, so of course I had to pay them. Of course I did. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Anyways. Anyways, just for like certain shots. Um, yeah. So, yep, pre-production was about 3 months to do all that paperwork, permit, insurance, and such. Um, and getting the actors, doing art department, getting camera equipment. Oh my goodness. And then we shot for 5 days. So one of the days was dedicated to scene 12 and scene 11. So this climax this climax was dedicated, had a day of dedication because it was supposed to be all rainy and all, but then the sun came out and there was an absolute pain. But also scene 11 here, the scene 11, yeah, it was supposed to be a little bit cloudy and all, yeah. Yeah, so we had to like prepare days and all and organize all that. 5 days of shooting, so shot for like a week, 1 week max, and then what did I do? Oh yeah, and then it was post for the next like month or two. So I did like 2-3 months of post. I took my time. I because this was a personal film, I wanted to go at my own pace and do whatever, and just like do whatever I wanted with it. Um, However, for actual projects or like for actual other people's things, if they ever want to hire me or whatever, I'll go a lot faster, because it's my job. It's not a thing that that's personal for me, you know. It's just it's work. Um, so I'll get to the end. I directed and edited this short film, and I did all the art department stuff. I helped out with the producer's paperwork and such. Like I helped out, but yeah, I didn't really do the paperwork exactly. I needed to help them. Um, yeah, so there's that. Um, because of people getting sick during the day, I had to yeah, we had to fill in for them, which is why in the credits it says that I was Boom. It's definitely not something which I will pursue. Definitely not, because we had to stand in for that role and all. And yeah. Oh, yeah, this shot did not look like that on the day. I can assure you. This is all like color grading and such, obviously, because it's a sunrise and all. Also, I had made the shadows a lot darker and such, just to give that smooth silhouette look to the characters and the costumes and all. Yeah, yeah. I think that's about it. I don't think there's anything else for me to mention. Um, yeah, because like, yeah, I did the, got them the wardrobe, we got them the props. I think that's about it. Yeah, 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 yeah. I guess that's it for Forlorn Woods then. This will end off the actual thing. I probably won't return to it. Um, However, I might, I might watch it like once a year or something. I might come back to it occasionally. But yeah, this is the final send off for the entire film. So let me get some music going again. Let me put some music. There it is. I feel like this is a good way to send off the film. Well, about that, maybe? Something like that. It's gonna get louder is the thing. Like, it's gonna get louder. Uh, Anyways, if anyone was ever here, I appreciate the fact that you came and all. If anyone ever watched this live stream, then yeah, thanks for coming by. And wish you all the best. It's gonna be a bit loud, I know, my goodness. A little bit loud. There we go. A bit nicer. yeah, I got nothing else to say. It's a very sweet, personal film. I appreciate everyone who came. I'm so proud of the crew and the people who supported us throughout making this short film. Yeah, lots of love was put into it, and yeah, I guess I'll send it off then. Okay, I've been live streaming for like an hour and a bit. Jeez, jeez. Might. Nah. Yeah, maybe. Ah. Alright. I'll see you guys later.